If you're watching this, you're probably wondering how to set up a business and get it to 50,000. A bit of context, I went from $0 to 50 million. I grew up in foster care. So I've learnt so many different things on how to do this. And to be honest, getting to 50,000 isn't that hard. Like, well, for me personally, because I've learned how to do it. But I think once you learn, you can kind of just do it. Like, I know if I ended up stopping my business today, I would easily be able to get back to $1 million. So $50,000 doesn't seem too outrageous. This is basically how I went about making my first 50,000. I think the first main key part before we even get into the technical side, you just have to have a certain mindset. So it comes down to you and yourself. So I believe this is the person who said it, don't quote me on it, but Albert Einstein, or this was contributed at least to Albert Einstein, that the eighth wonder in the world, because there's only 7 wonders, right? The eighth wonder in the world is compound. And what do I mean by that? Is if you keep on doing something over and over and over and getting better at it over time, no matter what it is, you will get there. If you think of compound as like the key thing, because it literally is, I've been doing the same thing over and over and over without stopping. That's building compound, right? And just like going to the gym, right? If you go to the gym once, you don't see any progress. You go to the gym 6 months, you see some decent progress. You go to the gym 12 months, you're unrecognizable. It's the exact same thing. But let's say if you go to the gym for 3 months and you start seeing results and then you stop, all of your progress is gone. So when you start, all of your compound is gone. You need to consider that when it comes to actually making $50,000. This is just compound, and you'll slowly get better and better. If you make $1 today, in 12 months time, that dollar is going to be quite significantly compounded. I'd say the first 50,000 is probably the hardest to make, only because you don't have the skills to be able to pull it off. The moment you get the skills, it's just like anything. You just know how to do it, and it's that simple. And once you make your first 50K, your second 50K is so much easier. So now that you know compound is literally the key, now what? What do you actually do? And this is exactly what I did to get myself to 50K when I started my first business. So the first thing you have to do is think of the idea that's going to make the money. And most people come up with cool ideas, but not very useful ideas, I would say. Yeah, I feel everyone just copies everybody and jumps into a saturated industry. Isn't ideal, except for like the top 1%, then it's ideal for them. So you need to solve a need that you have, because if you have it, humans are all built the same, yeah? Like everyone has the exact same needs. Like for example, I tried to start a nightlife app, but that was purely because I didn't know where to go when I was going out in terms of where to eat, where to party and whatnot in different cities. I didn't know that. That was a need that I have. And turns out so many people have that problem. So you need to figure out a problem that you have in your normal day-to-day life. You really got to think hard into your life in terms of the needs that you have. For example, I personally don't like drinking tap water. I don't like the taste of it. It always tastes like chlorine. So bottled water solved that, literally. And then you got to think of like when I'm at the pub, sometimes I got to drive. But I'm that person that always needs a drink in my hand. So half strength beer or 0% beer is a great example of how they solve that problem. So you have to just think of what is going on in my life that just annoys me. And then you will then notice that everybody else has that problem. That's the real way to start a business. Same thing with Uber, right? Nobody likes taking taxi. Why? They overcharge you. In my experience, I've often had rude taxi drivers. So Uber, the person who created that likely seen that that was a problem that they were facing every time they wanted to go out. When they were dealing with taxis, it took ages to come. So they created something probably for themselves. And you know what? It took off because everybody else has that problem. And straight out, it's not that hard. The way that I find these problems is I'll set up a whiteboard. I'll get a case of beers. And I will literally sit there for 12 hours. And by the end, you have 30 of those problems. And you pick the best one. It's that simple. So now that you have the idea, it's all about, okay, how do you bring this idea to life? So you got to create the solution, whatever that solution could be. It could be a million different variations. You just have to make sure that your solution is incredible. Like the concept is 10 times better than what's on the market. So if you always think that it needs to be 10 times better, then you will win no matter what. Think of Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. They both say the exact same thing. I don't know if you listened to any of Elon Musk's podcasts or read any books about Steve Jobs, but they both just hound the same thing. Your product just has to be 10x. If your product is 10x, then you can't lose. So Steve Jobs, he always slept in his office and he always worked on the iPhones. And Elon Musk literally slept in his engineering warehouse at Tesla building his products. He did that for 3 years because, again, he believed that a 10x product is the only way to win. And that's true. I'm not saying spend millions of dollars building a product, because I did my product for $700. I'm saying just build something on a need that hasn't been met before. That would be your easiest way. So if you're like, yep, I'm not going to stop, and you've committed to yourself, so you're going to build that compound, you've found yourself a pain that you face and you've created a solution for that. Now, how do we turn that into money? Because people need to know about your product. And I don't know, I reckon the best way to think about this is the 80-20 rule. Most people, when they're looking to make money, they spend 80% of their time on something that only provides 20% the result. The best example is if you work a job, you're not going to become a millionaire, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the brutal facts. So you're spending 80% of your time at work, that's only going to produce 20% of the result that you want. So you need to flip it around. And the same thing goes in business as well. Some people focus on their 80% of things, like constantly planning, constantly making things look really nice, like designing, stuff like that, rather than the key things. And that's where we flip the 80-20. So you want to focus on the 20% of things that drive 80% of the result. If you're thinking about, okay, I need to make $50,000 out of my whatever I created, the things that you would focus on, I would say, is number one, making sure your product's fucking great. Number two, getting customers. So marketing, because marketing gets customers to your door. And then number three is sales. That's converting customers into paying customers. They're the only three things that you should focus on. The rest can wait. Like, you haven't even made the $50,000 yet. The rest can literally just chill out. So in your day, if you aren't building your product, putting out marketing campaigns nonstop, or learning about marketing campaigns, or being on the phone, physically on the phone, or emailing customers, then it does not matter, because that's really what's going to get you the $50,000. The first 0 to 50,000 is pure hustling. It's, you know your product's great, you believe in it. Now get customers to your door and sell them. So if you're not posting and if you're not on the phone, literally directly, like making sales scripts and all that's not counted, like being on the phone with the customer, then it does not matter. It literally does not matter. They're the 80-20 that you need to focus on. Otherwise, it's honestly pointless. And yeah, it's literally exactly what I did. Like back in the day, you could easily access a phone book and you would know all the different types of businesses focusing on a different area. I would literally just be on the phone. I would do 80 cold calls per day directly on the phone. This is because I didn't know marketing. I wish I knew marketing, because it made my business grow so much faster, so much easier. I was literally just on the actual phone, because the doing part is the key. Like, it literally is the key. Like, that's what's going to start building your compounding. That's how you're going to learn, is my product even great? Customers will let you know. They'll be like, no, I'm not buying this, because it doesn't solve nothing. So I'm going to explain, after creating my product, I only had $700, how I turned that into my first 50,000. Number one, I built a Wix website. There's probably better ones out there now, but I needed a website. And again, I was on a budget. Wix was only I'm pretty sure it was only like $30 a month. It was enough for me to at least look legit. I used my time to create that. Again, that's marketing. So as part of that 80-20, right? So I built a customer facing website, and I put what I thought was the problem, the solution, things like that. I bought a shitty computer, so that way I can start searching up different types of businesses and getting phone numbers and things like that. I bought a phone book. Oh yes, I actually bought nice clothes as well. I bought this really cheap, I think it was $60 suit. Enough for me to look somewhat presentable. So that way when I'm speaking to people, people take me somewhat seriously. And again, that's part of sales. And to be honest, I had nothing else. Like, if I was, again, to start, I would probably get a CRM. CRMs are pretty cheap. That way you can put your customers in it when they inquire and whatnot. And that, I think that's $30 a month as well. So at least you got a place where your customers sit. You look somewhat presentable. You've got a way to market. At this point, once you got yourself set up, and again, it doesn't have to be expensive, then you need to look at your two ways of making money. And again, it's being on the phone and it's marketing. I personally spent, I reckon, 90% of my day calling customers, being hung up on, being on the phone to customers. But this day and age, you don't really have to do that. You could put out lead campaigns. I think that that's probably the most efficient way to get the right customer in front of you. And by the way, Meta's Instagram and Facebook, it's definitely the easiest way to get in touch with leads. A lead campaign is literally just something that you post. You've probably seen it on your own feed where it pops up. They have some kind of solution. And when you click on it, ask for your details, ask for your phone number, ask for your email. So you want to pop that out and you'll find that it only costs like $10 to get a lead. Like you find that out very easily that someone has your problem and it only costs you like $10 for them to inquire. So if you had these lead campaigns and then it costs $10 to get in front of someone who has the exact problem and they're looking for that exact solution, spend most of your time being on the phone with these people, emailing these people, contacting these people very, very quickly. And then you're probably thinking, oh, well, maybe I'm a bit nervous to be on the phone with them. That's okay. There's actually a book that I read that helped me with this because I'm a pretty introverted person. There was this book, The Psychology of Sales, which helped so much. So it teaches you how to find someone's pain, so the thing they're inquiring about, which is likely the pain that you've solved, helping you find their pain and then how to match your product to their pain. So that way they can clearly see the value in your product. And that's what I found like the easiest possible way to sell. And don't get me wrong, getting your first sale will be the hardest part, literally, because once you figure out that, then you'll get multiple, right? So getting to your first is the hardest part, and most people are nervous about that. I definitely was. The one important thing to remember, in my personal opinion, is the only way to learn is by failing at it, because your customers will tell you either by telling you directly or ignoring you. So you will learn directly from people being like, I'm not purchasing this. So you need to remember that. If you're going in and get no sales, that's actually a good thing because you've just learned. And then again, going back to the whole compound thing, you tweak things. So you tweak your messaging. And again, if it's your need, you would probably know the messaging best because you're solving your own problem, right? So you would tweak that messaging both in your marketing or in your calls. And then you would take that back to market. And do you get a sale? Who knows? If you don't, you tweak it again. Do you get a sale? Who knows? If you don't, you tweak it again. And you continue this whole compounded cycle non-stop, constantly. And then one day you get a sale. All of a sudden you're like, wow, that actually works. And then you do that same thing. You get your second sale. Wow, this works. All of a sudden you'll get to yourself to the point where multiple people are buying, but then you'll start to wonder, can I get more people buying? You probably can by tweaking it, testing it. Then all of a sudden, 2 people at the same time purchase. You need to just keep on doing that until you find the sweet spot, because the sweet spot's so unique. I failed at this so long. It took me, like 6 months to get my first sale, which was crazy. But that first sale was pretty substantial. And then the point that I'm in my business now, or my businesses, like we're probably doing over 100 sales a week, which is a lot. You think about that, I tweaked the same kind of messaging in different ways for ages to figure out just what worked. And that's what you have to do, whether it's you on the phone or whether it's you through marketing. Just keep tweaking that message and it'll come through. When I hit my first $10,000, I was like, damn, this is hard. But the difference between my first 10,000 and my first 50,000 was only a 4-week difference. But to get to that first 10,000 probably took me around about that 6-month mark. And then the first 50,000 literally came the month after. So just figuring out that sweet spot is literally the hardest part. And that's so normal. Like it's beyond normal, to be honest. Like most of these companies don't even make that much money in their first year. So it's important to remember, just keep compounding it, focusing on that. So I gave you all the things that I would do, but here's the things that I wouldn't do purely based on my experience and all the mistakes I made. The first thing is just wasting time on unnecessary tasks. And you probably won't even realize you're doing it, because I definitely didn't realize until I got to this point. Just think, what's high leverage and what's low leverage? Is it getting me customers or making my product better? If it's not, piss it off. Literally get rid of it. Who cares about like tweaking perfect designs and making perfect pictures and perfect strategies? Like that's, in my personal opinion, a waste of time when you're trying to get through this hustle phase. Like your main job is just making sure you got a great product and customers actually want it and customers actually buy it. The second most important thing that I honestly miserably failed at until I learned it was this thing called the Socratic paradox, which basically means the more you know, the less you know. So right at the start, you think you know everything. You think you know like everything that it takes to get to wherever you need to go. And that's so wrong. And the more that you learn, the more you'll realize you don't actually know anything. And that continually happens. Like I'm 10 years deep into growing my business. And the more that I've learned, the more I realize I know fuck all. The one key thing that I wish I did from day one is listen to a freaking ebook like once a month on actual useful shit to the problems that I was facing then and there. For example, if I was facing problems getting sales, I needed to listen to that ebook that I was talking about on making sales. Or if I was struggling with marketing, I needed to research and listen to books purely on that. And I didn't do that for like 2 years, and that slowed me down. I should be like years and years ahead of where I am, but it's only because of that stopped me. And I wish I did that earlier. Now I listen to a book a week. And if you hate reading like me, I either listen to audiobooks or I find a PDF version online, upload into ChatGPT, and I just get ChatGPT literally just to break down each paragraph or each chapter for me. So that way I don't actually have to read the whole book. I can just get all the main points out of that book. You just got to do it. And the last thing, and this is so important as well, is focusing on too many things at once. When I started, I thought of like 5 great business ideas. These all could have been absolute killer, multi-million dollar businesses. Especially me at the helm, I would have made it happen. But you know what? It didn't happen because straight out, you can't do multiple things. If you go back to this whole compounding is the eighth wonder of the world, compounding relates to one thing. So you need to knuckle down on one concept and be great at that, or you'll never be great at anything. So if you do all these things, it would be extremely hard not to hit $50,000. If you don't hit $50,000, purely it comes to you're either not doing the 80-20 or your product's not right. That's it. And that's a very simple thing to think about. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on all these. Again, I'm trying to go from foster care to billionaire, so follow along. I'm going to pretty much bring everyone along the way as well. But yeah, like, subscribe, follow. Wait. Like, subscribe, comment.